All right, guys. Thanks for joining us today, guys. We're live, and like I said, we're going to be doing this live Monday and Wednesday around this time. Make sure you guys hit the like button, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you get notified of when we do go live. All right. Make sure you also, if we're live, you have the ability to go into the chat and ask us questions, shoot us a super chat donation, and we'll even go even more in depth. I'm going to be covering various amount of topics. Last week we covered a simple tip for the triangle to make your triangle a lot tighter. Today I want to just go over a couple of things that I wish I knew at white belt that totally, just little tips also that really help. First one is a couple of tips with the collar. So I'm just going to have my Uke James today. He's just going to stay right there. So watch here. When I have my partner, anytime I either have the back or the mount or side control, just to show it here, just grabbing collars to try to do chokes might not really work, and the leverage isn't there. So what I really like to do is I like to fold the collar over, and what it does is it makes a real nice handle here, all right? And I can do it with my second hand and fold it over, and I fold my fingers in. And you want to get a rotation of the wrist, not this way, the other way. So if I'm going for collar control, I want to fold it over, and I rotate to get my fingers inside. So notice his collar's already folded. If his collar's like this here, and I just grab it, it's really not that strong. So I want to get a nice fold over and rotate, right? And the other one, fold and rotate so I can get some nice chokes here, no matter what choke you're doing, okay? So that's one. Anytime you guys are going for collars, to rotate it, all right? Another one, I like to do, anytime I'm doing a cross collar, all right, if I have my partner laying down and I have the mount position, let's say, right? Let's just rotate a little bit over this way. Let's say the first choke we all learn, the cross collar, right? And I'm here and I get my grips good and I rotate and I get my second hand in, I rotate, and let's say I go to my Superman mount right here. It's not arm strength that you should be thinking about with these chokes. I want to use my chest, which then pushes on my own arms, which then pushes on his neck. All right, so look, once I get my grips, and my grips are solid here, and I rotate, I want to try to use my weight coming forward. I want his head lower than my head. All right, so watch, if he actually turns to the side a little bit, I don't want to be face to face with him like this. I want to come up so my chest goes in his face. But what that's really doing is bringing my weight and my body weight and my chest weight on my wrists, and that weight goes on his neck. And that's what's doing the choking. Pure technique here, look. It's nothing to do with my arms ripping across his neck. It's everything else that's pushing against my arms. Look, I'm here. Yeah, see? All right? So that's the second tip. First tip, make sure you get a good rotation of the collar when you're going for chokes. All right, the second tip is when you're going for the mounted chokes, cross collar chokes, use the weight of your chest to push onto your forearms and your wrist and then pull through to help with the choke. Now let's see, how does that translate to the choke, same choke from the bottom? If I have my partner, he's on his knees, let's say I just have a butterfly guard and I get a cross collar choke, right? I'm right here. However you set it up is fine. But let's say I just get this. When I get the collar choke, a lot of times we learn go ear to ear with your partner, which is fine, it works. But what am I actually trying to do? Same thing we did in the mount. I want his head lower than my head. And then when I do that, I still want to get my own chest pushing on my own arms, even if I kick them away. Yeah, see? So I like that version of the chokes from the bottom, is actually pushing your partner away from you. So when I'm here and I pull him close, I get his head lower than my head, I'm pushing my chest through, but I want to kick out and let him go lower even more, and it naturally chokes him, all right? And last little tip I want to give you guys, let's take the Kimura and the Keylock, all right? Funny enough is everybody teaches the Keylock, let's say for example, as the first move they teach, and that's good. But it's the move that you see people getting the least when they're rolling, Keylock, right? It becomes power-based and strength-based when you do it a certain way. So if I have my partner laying down, and let's say I have side control, right? And we're here, yeah. And let's say I'm just getting a Keylock. If I just grab his wrist and come under and grab my own wrist and drag his arm down. It's very hard to get his arm in that position. So what we're going to do is I like to get a C grip with the fingers right here and make a C with my thumb and my index, and I come around his wrist. What that does is it makes the majority of my hand on his wrist and higher. I'm not really on his arm. And it makes sense to teach it that way in the beginning because it's simple to teach. Grab the wrist, right? But first thing I want to do, I like to grab the wrist and I twist. Kind of makes it have my partner in like a little Aikido wrist lock here, okay? So I grab the wrist, especially maybe I'm here, side control, he's pushing my head. I like to grab this C grip and I twist it. And now I bring this all the way to the mat. But now, when I come through with my second hand grabs my own hand. I don't like to come too low on my own wrist. I like to come, I call it stacking hands. I'm just trying to stack on my own hands. So we're here, I C grip, I twist, and then I get this to the mat. But once I bring this second hand through, I get my elbow to the mat, right? I get the second hand through, I grab my own hand of the C grip here, and I'm on top of the own back of my hand. Once I do this, I can go thumbless, and I'm going to rotate my wrist in, and I pull everything in. See, he's almost tapping right here. Now when I come under, the tap is there already. So instead of just grabbing the wrist, so one more, look. I'm sitting out in side control. I grab the wrist, C grip, right? I twist. Once I twist, I get this to the mat, okay? Then I come through, I can control with my head. I grab the top of my own hand. I come to a thumbless grip, I roll, and I tuck everything in. All right, now from here, it's just a really more leverage-based keylock. And let's keep our partner here for a second. The last one, guys, Kimura. Okay, look. Same thing with the Kimura. I'm going to sit out. Actually, let's turn this way for a second. Yeah. So let's say I'm here. My partner's got an underhook. Yeah, and I'm over this way. I do the same C grip. Right on the wrist. I twist it. Now he can't grab anything on the way down. And I get his hand to the mat. I can come back to my knees. But now look at my left hand. My left hand jacks up his shoulder. And now what I'm going to do, I keep this twist with the right hand. I'm bringing my right hand to my left hand under. And look, I grab the top of my own hand. I'm not grabbing my wrist. So I'm not going wrist and then grab my own wrist. Still can work, but I think it's just more of a, especially when I switch the hips here, it's more of a strength-based move rather than, especially I know my partner's going to get an underhook. I switch my hips. I come under. I grab that C grip. I twist. I bring his hand to the mat, and I jack up his shoulder. I come back to my knees. I jack up his shoulder here. And now, look, my left hand is just waiting for the right hand to come under. I bring the right hand under, and with my left hand, I grab, even if I can grab my own knuckles. Now, right here, it's pretty much done, right? It's under his own ribs here. And now, look, I could just sit back, Sakuraba style, or I could switch my hips again, but it's just so tight right here, all right? Rather than wrist on wrist, and then now I really got to use a lot of strength, all right? Good. All right. So we're going to go even more in depth Wednesday. We're going to go deeper into these little tips, especially in the beginner level at white belt when you start to learn Keylock, Kimura, chokes. There's little things that you can do to make them just that much tighter, especially the collar chokes. We did folding over the collar. All right, and make sure you guys put in the comments and in the live chat anything you want us to go over. Remember, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll let you know when we're going live. And we're going to try to go live at least twice a week. Thanks, guys. Thanks, man.